The Los Angeles Lakers have officially entered off-season mode with one central mission: surround Luka Doncic with the right pieces to make a legitimate run at the NBA title. General Manager Rob Pelinka made that clear at his end-of-season press conference, acknowledging that the franchise has one of the best players in the world in his prime and cannot afford to waste it. The message was direct. The front office understands the urgency, and the rebuild around their superstar begins now. Hey, what's up everyone? Before we jump into everything today, that like button right there is what decides if this video hits hundreds or thousands of people. 1 second is all it takes, but the impact on this channel is massive. Go ahead and hit that like button right now. Seriously, it's the simplest thing you can do. And honestly, the best way to back this content up, because every single like pushes this further. So hit it now. According to a report from Sam Amick and Dan Wyke of The Athletic, the Lakers have a defined vision for the type of players they want to add. The front office is targeting 3 specific profiles: a true center who can function as a legitimate lob threat, genuine two-way wing defenders with athleticism and shooting ability, and a long-term secondary playmaker who can consistently take pressure off Doncic. None of those needs are minor. Each one addresses a glaring weakness that was exposed during the 2025-26 season and, more painfully, during the playoffs. The center position stands out as the most pressing concern. DeAndre Ayton was never a seamless fit for this roster, and while his first-round performance against Alperen Sengun and the Houston Rockets offered some promise, his impact collapsed in the second round against the Oklahoma City Thunder. The Lakers front office is reportedly interested in players who mirror the profile of Daniel Gafford and Derek Lively, who are mobile, athletic big men who can run the floor, catch lobs above the rim, and protect the paint. The emphasis is also on players with cleaner injury histories, a subtle but telling detail that reveals the front office's awareness of durability as a factor in roster construction. Jackson Hayes, the backup center who filled in throughout the season, actually fits many of the characteristics the Lakers are seeking. He ran the floor well, connected on alley-oops, and brought the kind of energy that the starting unit often lacked. His performance at times suggested that the answer to the center problem might already be partially in-house, though the Lakers are unlikely to rely entirely on Hayes as their primary big man going forward. The two-way wing need is equally significant. JJ Redick's system demands players who can guard on the perimeter and knock down open shots when Doncic draws multiple defenders. It is a profile that is genuinely difficult to find. Wings who are positive contributors on both ends of the floor are among the most coveted players in the league. The Lakers will need to be creative in free agency and in trade conversations to find that type of player, whether through cap space, a trade package involving draft picks, or their 25th overall selection in the upcoming draft. The secondary playmaker role may be the most critical piece of all. Doncic is a generational creator who can make any teammate better, but he needs a reliable partner who can run offense, make decisions under pressure, and keep defenses honest when Doncic rests or is double-teamed. The report from The Athletic specifically notes that locking in a long-term secondary playmaker is among the organization's top priorities this summer. Austin Reaves fits that description perfectly. The two players have already shown exceptional chemistry on the court together, with Reaves consistently making winning plays that complement everything Doncic does. Pelinka has publicly stated that both the organization and Reaves share a mutual desire to continue their partnership. Getting that deal done would allow the Lakers to check one of those 3 boxes immediately and build from there. Doncic himself proved, just 2 seasons ago with the Dallas Mavericks, that he can lead a team to the NBA Finals with the right supporting cast. That experience matters. The Lakers are reportedly drawing direct inspiration from what worked in Dallas: athletic bigs, switchable wings, and a trusted secondary ball handler. The blueprint is there. The challenge is executing it within the financial and asset constraints available to the front office. On a separate but encouraging note, new owner Mark Walter has reportedly established a strong line of communication with Doncic since taking over the franchise. The two reportedly speak regularly, and that level of consistent engagement has made a positive impression on the superstar guard. Building organizational trust with a player of Doncic's caliber is not always guaranteed, and the early signs suggest the relationship is off to a healthy start. Something that could matter greatly as the Lakers work through what figures to be an active and consequential offseason. The Lakers hold multiple first-round draft picks and carry significant cap space heading into the offseason, giving the front office real flexibility to work with. Whether they choose to go the free agency route, swing a trade, or invest in this year's draft, the goal is the same: put Luka Doncic in the best possible situation to win. The window is open. The talent is there. Now it comes down to execution, and every decision made this summer will shape just how far this Lakers team can go next season. The Austin Reaves sweepstakes are heating up before free agency even officially begins, and the Lakers are now on notice. Several rival franchises are beginning to show genuine interest in the guard who just completed the best season of his career in Los Angeles, and the competition for his signature could push his next contract to levels that will test the Lakers' financial commitment. According to a report from Dan Wyke and Sam Amick of The Athletic, Reaves is expected to command as much as $40 million per season on his next deal. That projection is driven by a combination of factors: his on-court production, his age, still in his mid-20s and well within his prime, and the reality that this summer's free agent class lacks any player at his level of all-around impact. In a market starved of quality lead guards who can both score and facilitate, Reaves stands alone. The teams with the clearest financial path to signing him are the Chicago Bulls and Brooklyn Nets. Both franchises are carrying the kind of cap space necessary to meet or exceed that $40 million threshold without needing to maneuver around existing contracts. The Bulls and Nets each have guard position needs, making Reaves a natural fit both financially and roster-wise. Other teams, specifically the Utah Jazz and Atlanta Hawks, have expressed interest as well, though both would require significant roster moves to free up the necessary space to make a competitive offer. Of the teams mentioned, the Hawks represent the most compelling threat to the Lakers' chances of retaining Reaves. Atlanta won 46 games last season and is built around all-star forward Jalen Johnson, an ascending talent who gives the franchise a genuine ceiling. What the Hawks lack is a reliable lead guard capable of creating his own shot while also generating opportunities for teammates. Reaves fills that need almost perfectly, and unlike the Bulls or Nets, Atlanta can offer him a winning environment from day one, something the guard himself has indicated matters greatly in his decision-making. The Jazz are also a team worth monitoring. Utah has been steadily building around a core that includes promising frontcourt talent, and adding a guard of Reaves' caliber would signal that the franchise is genuinely ready to compete. His fit alongside the young Jazz roster would be interesting, and Utah's desire to accelerate its rebuild could make them willing to offer an aggressive contract to attract a player of his standing. Reaves is coming off a year in which he earned just under $14 million, a figure that, by any measure, dramatically undervalued his contribution to the Lakers. He was the team's most consistent secondary scorer, a clutch performer in high-pressure moments, and one of the only players on the roster capable of creating offense off the dribble when defenses keyed in on Luka Doncic. That versatility is precisely what made him so effective, and it is exactly what other franchises see when they look at what they could gain by signing him. Despite all the external interest, there is a strong belief among league sources that Reaves and the Lakers will ultimately find common ground on a new deal. Reaves has spoken openly about his desire to remain in Los Angeles, and that preference for continuity carries real weight. He has built something with this team and, perhaps more importantly, with Doncic specifically. The two have proven to be one of the more dynamic guard combinations in the Western Conference, with Reaves thriving in the pick and roll partnerships and pull-up situations that Doncic's playmaking creates. On that point, Doncic himself has made his feelings known to the organization. The superstar guard reportedly told the Lakers directly that he did not want Reaves included in any potential trade package, including discussions around Milwaukee Bucks star Giannis Antetokounmpo. That kind of direct input from a franchise player carries enormous organizational weight and all but guarantees the Lakers will do everything within reason to keep their backcourt together heading into next season. The financial reality is also worth examining. Reaves will enter a free agent market where supply of elite guard talent is extremely limited. When a player of his profile hits the open market at his age, maximum contract offers tend to follow quickly. The Lakers have cap space of their own, but they are also juggling other roster priorities, the center position, wing depth, and potentially a blockbuster trade, all of which will compete for the same financial resources. How the front office balances those competing demands while holding on to their most important complementary player will be one of the defining decisions of this offseason. The pressure is real, the interest from rivals is genuine, and the Lakers know they cannot afford to let this situation drift without a resolution. Losing Reaves would not only weaken the roster, it would directly undermine everything the team is trying to build around Luka Doncic. Head coach J.J. Redick has also made it clear that he wants his core trio of Doncic, Reaves, and LeBron James back together next season, a public endorsement that adds further institutional momentum behind getting a deal finalized. The clock is ticking, and every day that passes without an agreement is a day another team gets closer to making its move. Lakers Hall of Famer James Worthy has entered the offseason conversation with a pointed message for the front office. The center position must be addressed, and he already has a specific player in mind. During an appearance on the Dan Patrick Show, Worthy was candid about his assessment of where the Lakers fell short this past season and what type of upgrade is needed to make them a real championship contender next year. Worthy was direct about one thing above all else. He does not believe the Lakers can run it back with the same roster and expect a different result. the Western Conference is only getting stronger. He specifically mentioned Minnesota as a team poised to improve, and the broader implication of his comments was clear. Standing pat is not a viable option for a franchise trying to compete with the best in the West around a superstar like Luka Doncic. When it came to the center position specifically, Worthy acknowledged DeAndre Ayton's qualities as a basketball player while questioning whether he is the right fit for what this team needs on a consistent basis. The Hall of Famer was not dismissive of Ayton outright, but he drew a clear line between a talented individual and the specific type of presence the Lakers require in the middle. What Worthy is looking for is not necessarily a star. It is a reliable, physical, hard-nosed center who can change the game without needing the ball in his hands to do it. The name Worthy offered was Isaiah Hartenstein of the Oklahoma City Thunder. The veteran big man represents exactly the kind of interior presence Worthy described. A bruiser, a defender, a rebounder, and a lob finisher who makes winning plays without needing a featured role. Hartenstein doesn't require touches in the post to be effective. He alters shots, secures boards, sets devastating screens, and runs the floor. He is the type of player who makes everyone around him better, which is precisely what a Doncic-led offense needs from its center. Worthy's endorsement of Hartenstein carries even more weight when you look at what the Thunder center did during the second round of the NBA playoffs against the Lakers. While Ayton struggled to make any consistent impact against Oklahoma City's frontline, Hartenstein was a consistent force on both ends of the floor. His presence alongside Chet Holmgren created a frontcourt combination that the Lakers simply could not solve, and it exposed in real time how much Los Angeles lacks a center with his physical tools and defensive intelligence. The contract situation surrounding Hartenstein adds a layer of intrigue to any speculation. Oklahoma City holds a team option on his deal for next season at the $28.5 million. Whether the Thunder exercise that option, buy him out and attempt to sign him long-term, or allow him to enter the open market remains to be seen. If Hartenstein does become available in any form, he will immediately be one of the most coveted big men in the league, and the Lakers will almost certainly be among the teams making a run at him. Beyond Hartenstein, the SI report also laid out the broader center landscape available to Los Angeles this offseason. On the unrestricted free agent market, names like Nikola Vucevic, Jusuf Nurkic, Zach Collins, Mitchell Robinson, Robert Williams III, and Nick Richards will all be available. None of them carry the same upside as Hartenstein, but several could serve as solid complementary options depending on price and fit. The more intriguing possibilities lie among restricted free agents. Jalen Duren of the Detroit Pistons has emerged as one of the league's most promising young big men, and while the Pistons retain the right to match any offer sheet, there is real uncertainty about how far Detroit is willing to go financially to keep him. Walker Kessler of the Utah Jazz is another restricted free agent who has drawn the Lakers' interest in the past. Kessler's rim protection and rebounding ability fit a specific need, and with Utah potentially in transition mode this summer, the door could open for Los Angeles to make a competitive push. The front office's mission is clear. Find the center who can give this team an identity in the paint, protect the rim, and allow Luka Doncic's offensive brilliance to operate from a position of strength. Worthy's voice adds a Hall of Fame perspective to a debate the entire organization is already having internally. The Giannis Antetokounmpo trade speculation also looms over these center discussions. If the Lakers manage to land the Milwaukee Bucks superstar through a trade, the calculus at center changes dramatically. Antetokounmpo's ability to play both forward and center positions at an elite level would address multiple roster needs simultaneously. However, the front office is reportedly reluctant to include Austin Reaves in any deal, and assembling a trade package compelling enough to outbid other suitors without surrendering Reaves is a difficult puzzle. For now, the more realistic path remains finding a dedicated center through free agency or a separate trade. And by that measure, Worthy's suggestion of targeting a Hartenstein-type player is both practical and well-reasoned. Los Angeles needs toughness and reliability in the middle, and James Worthy, a man who won 3 championships wearing the purple and gold, knows exactly what championship-level frontcourt play looks like.